Honor to see you two. And
It's an honor to hear you say it's an honor.
actually, I just have a question. If you ever retire, are you going to pass the torch to someone?
I open up the stomach. I even have to. There's so many anti-critics out there. I sort of got on it just, really, we got on it just the right time where this was like, this wave was hitting and we just got on just the point, where it was really starting to become a big hit. So I don't think it's ever going to be a shortage of it. At least none is in near sight. I don't plan on passing it. Because it's already been passed out.
No. But, there was a time when I was flirting with the idea of Nella being nostalgia chick, because I did think and still do that she's just better on screen than I am. But when we experimented with it, it really didn't go over well, so we were like, well, if Nella ever is centerpiece anything, it won't be in this form. It will be in her own shtick, so no.
Thanks, guys. By the way, I got presents for you guys. Do you want them now, or do you want them...
Take them after the show.
Yes.
Okay, after the show. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Let's see, what else we got? Guy holding the camera and lecture.
I was wondering what... Obviously, you love Batman the Animated Series, but I was wondering what you thought of the other DC animated universe, like Batman Beyond and Justice League.
I only saw a little bit of Batman Beyond. Again, just a little past my time. I saw the Return of the Joker thing. I thought that was kind of cool. The backstory of that was pretty cool. Aside from that, I never watched that much, and all the other stuff, I haven't watched it. So it could be great. I don't know. I just haven't had a chance to look at it all. You ever see any of that stuff? Let's do back there, white shirt. Yeah.
If SOPA were to pass, how would that affect the longevity of your site?
Say again?
If SOPA were to pass, how would that affect the longevity?
If someone were to
SOPA.
SOPA.
We don't know. Because, it's a really complicated issue in legislation, and I think the idea that, the mere idea that it is inherently evil is kind of flawed, and our concern were not so much the legislation, but the standards and practices behind that. Like when you apply it to other things, like, for instance, ebooks, which is really, really big problem right now because there's a lot of plagiarism going on. And what will happen is, like, an author will, let's see, someone will post something on Literotica, and it will get plagiarized by someone and sold on Amazon, and they'll be making a lot of money. And a lot of times the copyright holder, the person who wrote it, won't really have a course of action because Amazon is so giant and huge. So what SOPA would effectively do in that case is give the copyright holder the absolute power to take their property down or take the website down. And that was our big concern, was that the language of SOPA, as it was, would give a copyright holder the ability to take down an entire site without us having any recourse, or the, but like basically if someone posted copyrighted material in the forums, in their site, and that was the difficulty with the legislation. And that said, I think it is inevitable that something is going to go down that gives copyright holders more power. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because, people own copyrights to things. If you write a story, it's yours, and if you have no way to take it down, you can't take it down. But I think it really depends on the legislation, because SOPA it might be dead, but something inevitably will pass, and there's no way to know.
They're already trying to. So.
Yeah.
And what you're saying, if someone's work is legitimately stolen, if we don't like seeing that, we don't want that to happen, we're not for it. It's exactly what she said, where the idea, is to have people have the copyright to these things, make sure their work isn't stolen, that's fine, but there's a better way to go about it, and a better language to put it in than what they're doing, because there's just way too many loopholes and way too many outs that can very easily be abused. So the idea of protecting your work, I mean, it's like we're fine for it, but as it is now, and as it's constantly being rewritten, and you could even argue manipulated, it's just not at a good place where it's supposed to do what it is supposed to do. So I mean, that's the main concern.
Yeah, I think until we know what because something's going to pass sooner or later. Until we know what it is, we won't know for sure what it would do. But I guess the hope is that it will give copyright holders a course of action while giving the potential infringer due process as well. Silly question. Bonnie, Kathy.
First of all, Lindsay, thank you for coming to the site. We need more girls.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I picked her.
Sure
My
you
question
did.
for you guys is, what is your favorite and least favorite review you've ever did? Yours is a Let's Play. We already did. But actual review.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Well, you know mine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it probably is the last point.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's mostly because it was an idea I had a long time ago. I did a whole commentary.
It wasn't that bad. I
It
mean,
was bad.
it
Okay, if you liked it, great. I was not particularly proud of it, and a lot of other people are, and I can't defend it that well. So if you liked it, great. Go ahead and like it.
Let's Play was
in terms
horrible.
of my absolute favorite, it's definitely the one. So that's my favorite. And that was the. And it's 45 minutes, and it doesn't feel like 45 minutes. It really flies by, and I love working with Brent. I love working with Lindsay. I love going to New York for the first time. And I love singing those songs and doing the editing. It was just great fun.
I think that one, we were all I knew it would do well, but I think Brent and I were both pleasantly surprised. Brent in particular, because he was like, "Oh God, I hope this turns out well," and he was like,
He just gave his image in this silly outfit to just this guy.
he was like, "I'm coming to New York," like, okay, but no, we like Brent. Brent's a friend of the family now. Let's see.
He's like the singing uncle.
Yeah, I'm such a negative person. It's so much easier for me to pick out all the shit I hate. Because I really hated the Fifth Element.
Review? Or
Yeah, the review, not the movie. I don't hate it. But I was like, I feel like the level I hate a review is in inverse proportion to the amount of time I put into it. Like, if I didn't put much time or effort into it, I gotta get it done, I got a deadline, and I'll push it out, and I hate it. So what I just take them down, secretly a year later, take it off, no one notices, and then people will be like 2 or 3 people will notice, and I do it quietly without much fanfare. I took that one down, I took Dune down, I hated that one, because I was so drunk when I was because I hated that movie so much, and I hated that, I'm sorry, Dune fans, I hate everything about, well, I used to, I kind of get it in a campy way now, but when I'm, reading this book and watching this movie, I'm like, why is this a thing? And, I wasn't really open to the, fan base, which is considerable, and I ended up really lazy because I hated that movie so much, I couldn't get through it without being drunk. And then it was funny, and I had to riff, because when we were oh God, that took so long, that literally took 12 hours, and towards the end of it, we were just like, Sting's in a Speedo! But I really hated that, because I know this is going to sound weird, but I really hated Lord MacGuffin. I always hated Lord MacGuffin. And the reason he was in it was because he was dating Lisa at the time. And he was a really pushy person. And, which eventually, it ended up being good because I eventually learned to say no to people and, make decisions and say, no, I do not want this, yes, I do want this. But, I would just kind of bow to what he wanted because he was like, I want more Twitter followers, I want to be on your show. Okay, whatever. And, I eventually learned that, so I really hated that one.
Which one do you like?
That one's my answer.
You have to like something.
I like Crossroads. That one was good.
That one was good.
That's the only
Someone
one I
goes,
see.
well, I rewatched it the other day. I guess I like working with Todd. I feel like I have a good chemistry with him on screen with our little I love you, I don't love you thing we got going on. I guess I like Labyrinth but that's because people liked it.